In the late 1800s, the American West was defined by pioneers, adventurers, and entrepreneurs, and among them was Donald R. Cannonball Green. His legacy is closely tied to the establishment of the Cannonball Stage Line, a crucial route that connected Wichita to towns across western Kansas. The railroad was connected to settlements in southwest Kansas and into the wild redlands of Oklahoma by the Cannonball Stage Line. It was operated by the outspoken and colorful Donald R. Cannonball Green. Green launched his first stage service in 1876 in Kingman, Kansas, with routes extending through Pratt to Coldwater and later to Greensburg, a town he helped establish in 1886, which was named in his honor. Born in Kentucky in 1839, Green resided in Wichita, Kansas, before the Wichita and Western Railroad was built. In 1876, Green set up a small livery stable in Kingman, Kansas. A champion stagecoach driver, he soon launched a stage line to transport passengers across the region. Known for demanding speed, his stage line quickly grew. He named it the Cannonball, inspired by the famous song Wabash Cannonball, which celebrated a powerful locomotive. Green's stage line operated in areas not yet reached by the railroad, and for a time, he also carried mail between Wichita and Kingman. One of his contracts included delivering the Wichita Eagle newspaper to various towns in the West. The Wichita Eagle's founder, Marshall M. Murdoch, was a personal friend of his and brought about this agreement. The Cannonball Stage Line, also called the Cannonball Highway, began on West Street in Wichita, traveled 11 miles west along Maple Street, then headed south for a mile before joining what is now US 54 on its way to Kingman. Green's coaches were renowned for their speed, pulled by teams of 6 to 8 horses that were swapped out every 8 to 10 miles. The entire route took about 10 hours, with relay stops every 20 miles. His stagecoaches, painted in yellow and green, became a familiar sight. Relay stations set up at key points kept the stagecoach moving at high speed like it had been fired from a cannon. Cannonball and his wife were always adorned with diamonds. He once boasted that he owned more diamonds than anyone else west of the Mississippi combined. More than just a driver, Green was an advisor and guide, sharing his knowledge of southwestern Kansas and the vast prairie with his passengers. Under his leadership, the stage line expanded to include 70 vehicles and 1,000 horses, covering 1,500 miles across the Kansas plains. Standing 6 feet tall, Green was known for his flamboyant, boastful personality, often commanding attention while twirling his diamond-studded watch chains. He was also described as a warm, outgoing Westerner, quickly becoming a favorite among travelers. Green took immense pride in the speed of his stagecoaches, even boasting in his ads that not even Father Time could keep pace with the Cannonball. Green once mentioned that in those days a Concord coach cost $1,200, while mules could go for as much as $400 each. His coaches would cover 100 miles a day. Alongside the Concords, the stage lines included smaller coaches, but whenever a newspaper editor came along, Green made sure to offer them a seat in one of the larger coaches. He remarked, "Those editors gave me advertising worth thousands of dollars." At its peak, Green's business ran 70 coaches and more than 1,000 horses. However, Green wasn't one to tolerate any nonsense from passengers. Cannonball Green stagecoaches weren't just a way to get around. They were the backdrop for some lively encounters. In one memorable incident involving Carrie Nation, the famous temperance advocate who was a frequent passenger. According to legend, she once took offense to Green smoking a cigar, snatching it from his mouth and tossing it off the stage. Without missing a beat, Green stopped the stagecoach, picked Nation up, and left her standing in the dust by the roadside. This incident became part of the lore surrounding Green's stage line, reflecting his bold character and no-nonsense approach to running his operation. Cannonball Green's stagecoach business thrived from around 1870 to 1880. As small towns began emerging across the plains, Green played a key role in founding Greensburg, a town named in his honor. However, the golden days of the Cannonball route didn't last. As railroads expanded westward, the need for stagecoach services declined, prompting Green to explore other ventures. In 1889, he was elected as Kiowa County's second representative in the Kansas legislature. In 1898, when the Cherokee Strip opened, Green staked a claim in Oklahoma Territory and became a founding figure of Pond Creek, also serving as a county official. In his later years, Green settled in California, where he still made the news by taking part in rodeos and demonstrating his stagecoach driving talents. He passed away in 1922 at the age of 83, leaving behind a legacy that continues through the Cannonball Stage Line Highway. In 1997, a 60-mile section of US 54 from Kingman to Greensburg was renamed the Cannonball Stage Line Highway to honor Cannonball Green's legacy.